Phar Kim Beng is a political analyst, and he joins us now from the Malaysian capital with more. Phar, millions across the country are mourning the deaths of these 30 people that were killed in Saturday night's mass shooting. But it's also a time that many people across the country will be looking at the country's gun control laws. When you look at the numbers, strictly the numbers, the per capita killed by gun-related incidents in Thailand is actually higher than the United States. But mass shootings in the country, in Thailand, is not a big problem, is it?
Well, the numbers are not necessarily higher than in the United States. They are almost equal at 3.87 on a per capita basis. But that having been said, it is a very serious issue in Thailand, and an issue that has been driven underground because there are 67 million small arms all over Thailand, of which 6.7 million people are licensed gun owner. So Thailand, not unlike the Philippines, have a owning culture. And the Prime Minister was right. This was the one incident where a military-trained personnel resorted to that action of killing his commanding officer and one more soldier before driving off in a Humvee that allowed him to continue with his killing spree.
Okay, 67 million firearms, if I understood you correctly. That's a staggering number. When you look at the Christchurch mass shooting in New Zealand, one of the interesting things that the country's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern enacted was a gun buyback policy in which a lot of people actually voluntarily gave back their guns. After Saturday night's incident in Terminal 21 shopping mall, do you see something similar happening in Thailand?
I don't see something similar happening in Thailand, but I'm glad that you brought up the parallel or the analogy. The reason being the difference in culture between New Zealand and Thailand. When something like this happened in Thailand, there is almost a sense of resignation that this is karmic. In other words, what is meant to happen will happen, que sera, sera. So, whereas in the case of New Zealand, what Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern did was extremely admirable. And the New Zealanders too, if I may add, they volunteered to hand over their small arms and handguns. But I don't see something similar happening in Thailand on this scale.
Okay. One of the similarities that we're seeing lately, not only with the Christchurch shooting, but also in the one in Thailand, but also others, are these perpetrators or the shooters actively using social media. How do you think this will prompt authorities across the globe in reacting to these type of tragedies?
Well, I can't speak on behalf of various social media platforms. All of them seem to have some kind of censorship policy. But when it comes to Facebook, they were pretty slow in reacting to the live streaming of those murderers and killing spree. And having said that, Facebook also has a policy of not taking away any fake political ads. So not unless the social media firms can consolidate and unify on a common policy or position, I don't think perpetrators of such scale will stop using social media to expand both the size of the audience and the immediacy of their acts in trying to express either their grievances or perhaps their mental disturbances that led to that killing spree.
Okay. Phar Kim Beng, good to have your analysis. Thank you for joining us here on TRT World.